I've picked up on someone going through a very heavy death and rebirth cycle, and also someone who is extremely powerful. It took me a while to get on camera. There is a ton of energy. I feel like I'm going through what you are going through, so bear with me. This is powerful. I am getting that there is even some sort of significance in the number of your address, okay? So when you add it all up together, it's likely a 10, okay, signifying the end of cycles. That was really coming up in your channeled messages. But I'm getting that you are someone who you actually have gone through like an extreme amount of loss and heartbreak and betrayal. And it was kind of like when I was in your energy, I was getting images of like one tidal wave, like after another, and you're just like trying to come up for air, and that you didn't see a lot of this coming, okay? And this could have even been like actual deaths, and then your partner not being there for you and things like that I was picking up on. But I was getting that you are someone who says like, I'm fine all the time. Like I kept hearing like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, but this is really just that you got so used to being watched all the time, feeling kind of like a fish in a fishbowl, right? Like everyone had access to your energy, and it was very clear and known what you were going through. Just a lot of like information swirling around, and it was like very overwhelming for you, particularly when it came to these betrayals and just a lot of gossip and low vibrational, very toxic energy, okay? And all you want to do is be happy, okay? You're like, I don't even want to hear other people being critical of others, okay? Just like, let people live their lives. Can I just live my life? Like it was a lot of that. Okay, so I was picking up on you getting to a point where you got very calcified was the word. And not in a shadowy way, but more like you knew you couldn't heal with all of these people in your energy, okay? And it taught you a lot career-wise, work-wise, okay? Because I do feel like you've sacrificed a lot for others, one or two relationships in particular, because there's a lot of threes out here, okay? And especially when it comes to the tarot, that's three energies involved, okay? And that doesn't necessarily need to be like a third party in your romantic relationship. It could be, but it could even be like you and your parents. It could even be like, you and two other family members, your siblings. It could be you and two best friends or two coworkers that you have worked with for a really long time, right? But I'm getting this sense that it's just been a bit too much for you, and you're learning that like you just really want to work alone for a while. All right, you just really want to be on your own. It's really giving someone that like alchemizes all of this loss and betrayal and pain and hurt. Like, when like our hearts are so shredded that really all we can do is like just focus on work and creating like a new work opportunity for us, or being like, you know what, actually, like I'm in a soul sucking job, and so I might, you know, do this just to get by with, but when I go home at night, I'm gonna be working on my dream, like what it is that I actually want for my life. I'm really going to be pursuing that and only that. So my life is just going to be like work and taking care of myself, and that's going to be all the energy that I have anyways. So outside of that, I'm just going to want to rest and put on a good movie here and there and get back to cooking for myself and things like that, right? So yeah, it's giving that, like, or even like, you know how some people go through that whole like revenge body thing, you know, as much as I you know, don't like that word, but the thing is like, it's still alchemy, right? Like when people get to a point where they're like, yeah, I got hurt, you know, I got my heart broken and I went through this and that, and it just put me in this place of wanting to look and feel the best that I ever have in my life. Okay, so this is giving like, I want to work on my own. This is giving like grind and glow up, okay? And really coming out on top with that, okay? Because there's a lot of like winning energy out here as well. It was almost like you circled back to something in order to completely let it go, all right? There was definitely a tough decision that was made here, but it was like you just got to a point where you were just so sick of everything that you turned all of your attention and all of your focus back on yourself, you know? And in a really like powerful, alchemized way, okay? Because there's even some energy out here where it went from, you know how we can get these like initial swords put into our back and our heart, and then we can be so hurt that we actually start putting swords into our own back, you know, and doing things that hurt ourselves, right? So it's giving that there was a period of that as well. But it's interesting too, because then it was like, that showed you how powerful you are, because then you pulled every one of these out of your back, and now there's nothing but like offers out here now, because you called judgment on this situation, okay? And I'm getting that like that was all the divine needed to step in, you know? And it was just a whole cycle, like, you know, your heart got torn to shreds, okay? It was just, again, like I said, like one tidal wave after another, but then you were so hurt that for a little while you kind of were putting swords into your own back here. But again, that was like needed to close out this cycle, okay? You actually learned so much from that, because I'm also picking up on you going from someone who was like, you know, I don't ask for things anymore. Now, like, I demand things, okay? So this has a lot to do with your self-worth here, all right? That's extremely powerful. Yeah, you're like, I don't ask for things, I demand things. Like, I'm very clear with the universe now, and the difference is now is that like my belief system is something that I don't play about anymore, and neither does the divine or God or your spirit team, okay? There's a response here that is happening with regards to your like self-belief system, okay? Because there has been a complete like death and rebirth when it comes to your self-worth and your belief system about yourself now, okay? Like this is not like giving affirmations that are just falling on deaf ears anymore, you know? Like you might have talk the talk, but you didn't really believe that you were worthy of all of this, okay? But that is all different now, okay? And I'm getting that you are just pouring into yourself every single day now. And it's changing, like, your manifestation vortex now, okay? So you have some sort of like unique opportunity here, and you have fought for this. You are still fighting for this, okay? This is like an offer of like kindness, okay? Like a real offer, and it's tied to everything. Like the power is within you, like personal, like wish fulfillment, dreams come true, abundance, okay? Whatever this is for you, you can still be like the hopeless romantic that you've always been. I don't know why that's coming up for someone as well, but you're just very like fertile at this time, okay? Like you're in your creatrix, and again, like the universe is responding. And with like the Page of Pentacles here too, it's just giving like this is your time in the sun. The way that you have alchemized all of this, you are getting some sort of offer here, okay? It's from like a high priest or a high priestess here, okay? They want to offer you something, and it feels like work, okay? It feels like you took a gamble on yourself, and you are about to be shown just how much that is paying off for you and will continue to pay off for you in strides, okay? Money, resources, winning, okay? You may also celebrate Day of the Dead, okay? That could be significant for you. And be really into sugar skulls and things like that, okay? But this is like you see very clearly now, because there was like, again, one significant relationship here, possibly two people, like significant relationships that you saw that they just wanted you to stay, okay? They just wanted you to stay. Like, they didn't actually care about what it is that you wanted. They just didn't want you to go. They just wanted you to stay. That is really heartbreaking, but you know, people do that. And it may have even not been malicious. Again, if this was like a family member or whatever, you know, and you're coming to a place of forgiveness with this. So again, I don't know why this is coming up again, but yeah, there was one or two people that they really like intentionally or unintentionally didn't care what you wanted. They just wanted you to stay. But this was something that you needed to see, needed to forgive, needed this cycle to end. And you really just needed to do that whole like grind, glow up, and take this opportunity thing, okay? If it hasn't come in yet, it is here, like any day now, okay? Like you have earned this, you better take this, all right? You will feel a type of way if you don't, especially because this is coming from, again, a high priest or a high priestess who sees you, okay? And they see like your mind power, okay? So like balloons could be a synchronicity for you, something that you see when you meditate, just images that you get, or just something that you think about, or it could be something that you see when this opportunity comes, you know? I'm getting like a lot of like air and water in this energy. So again, this really felt like a Scorpio reading. and was just called to do that. It is Scorpio season, and I, just do what I'm guided to do, but I am getting like some air energy as well, okay? Just with the mind power out here. That could have been something that you were overcoming as well, just being an overthinker and those, more shadow traits that air signs typically have to overcome. All right. And again, I was getting something about like, do the numerology of your address. Okay. So, like a couple of homes ago for me, the numerology, it broke down to an 8, and that was really where I started to learn about tarot, and I just started to really feel abundance and manifested abundance and things like that, and then the home that I'm in now is a 10, and so this has definitely been the home where I am like heavily ending cycles, and so I typically wouldn't share that, but it's just coming up for you as well. So again, it could be that you are in a 10 home right now with all this like death and rebirth, and then moving into a home that is like an 8 or a 6, that could be possible as well. Okay, and like a tattoo of an ankh could be significant, or a key, as well as a crescent moon was coming up as well. And then you could be seeing a lot of 3s, so 33 is a master number. You could be getting woken up at 3:33 in the morning and things like that. So anything else? 555. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this one here for now, family, but let me know if any of this resonates. I am just so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for trusting me. I am always rooting for you. And again, I really hope this resonated and that you enjoyed the reading. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you in the next one.